Hi there. My name is OldManNAYNAY, and I'm a League of Legends player. You could apply a lot of what I'm about to say to any type of venture, but in specific, we're going to be talking about League of Legends today. The main core focus of my channel here on YouTube, and if you want to come check me out on Twitch, I stream sporadically currently, so good luck. But turn on your notifications. I'm a fun guy to hang out with. Even when I'm depressed, I'm truthful, I'm honest, and I'm right here. So here's a presentation on OldManNAYNAY, me. I am aiming pretty high. Not only am I aiming for Challenger after my, let's see, how many years have I played this game? 14 or 15 now? Yeah, somewhere in there. And this is my retirement speech. Am I retiring today? Not the slightest. This is my anti-retirement speech because I got all these flames. You know that scene in Batman where Joker's like, choose between your lover or your friend. I'm gonna blow them both up, and then you have like hundreds of barrels of oil in there. That's like every time I close my eyes and I'm like, am I done with League of Legends? I close my eyes and I look deep inside and I'm like, what the fuck? I've got barrels and barrels and barrels of fuel. No way am I done. I'm just at a point of anguish right now. We'll talk about that in a moment here. Anyways, this is my presentation, and I would love if you could stay for the whole thing, because you will come out with knowledge that you just couldn't even expect. You want to check it out? Let's go for it. So, this is OldManNAYNAY, and bam, slam me with all this knowledge, right? Like, whoa! Breaking it down very quickly. Brain, eyes, breath, heart, hands, center, balls, grounding, and aura. When you think of your brain while doing any task at all that you really just wish you had a little bit more flow in, or just walking through life in general, your brain goes everywhere. It could be like, did this person text me? Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I wish I had a little bit of this. Oh, I feel a little bit of that. Oh, I'm tired from last night. On and on and on and on and on and so forth. And, like, it just doesn't stop. Our goal isn't to make it stop. Those things will kind of flow away on their own. And our goal is to maybe mitigate our stop gates and see what we really are at our best in our prime. And this is what I've devised. At my best, I have, going through my brain, 5 elements. Those are the Chinese 5 elements. You got water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. That could be a visualization experience, and sometimes it's what I do purposefully to try and have my brain grasp onto something. But also it's just kind of fun. I do what must be done is a mentality state. It's like when I have to do something, like, oh, I want to win, or oh, I'm having fun here. They're just things you have to do. And I do what must be done. I'm a participant. I show up with my minimum. And you know what? Showing up with your minimum is the hardest thing any person could do on any given day. Dwindle. Noticing when my energy is dwindling. One of the things where it's like, in my head, when I notice I'm dwindling, it's nice to go, oh, I'm dwindling. And it helps you kind of stay a little bit more centered. My brain is focused on racing lines throughout League of Legends. It's just like I'm trying to see the line of play where I could do the thing most efficiently. And that's mentioned right here with no wasted movement and calculations. It's like I am churning up a game plan, a storm up here, and each of us have our own flavors in this game, so our calculations and no wasted movement mean completely different things, and that could be anything in life. Like, I mean, you could be a dishwasher and you could have calculations and no wasted movement. And when you get into a flow state, which I mentioned in a previous video, these types of things aren't like, oh, I'm thinking so hard, give me a moment, oh, the thought. No, it's a little bit more intrinsic. We are physical bodies, physical people. Our mental headspace isn't just some cloud that's up here and nobody really knows what it is. We're here. We're here. Even though we're spiritual beings, this is my conduit. I'm right here in this space, taking it all up. And engaged. Engaged is a huge thing. Am I engaged? Am I keeping my opponent engaged? There's engagement everywhere. What are you going to do? How are you going to create engagement? How are you interacting with engagement is a huge thing. Now, our eyes, we have the 4 Fs. Are you ready? Focus, 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 focus. As my body is not fully integrated some days when I show up at League, it's a practice. It's a practice. I'm not perfect. It's a practice. I utilize some of these things with my eyes that make me a hugely better player when I can actually dump my energy into it a little bit. 4 Fs. Focus, 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 focus. When I notice I'm not looking through my eyes, I'm disassociating a little bit. Focus, 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 focus. I'll get through this game currently, get to a good stopping point, and if I want to continue, I can continue. If not, we'll see what else the rest of the day has in store for me. Heat maps. Personally, my style of League focuses around spatial visualization and macro plays. I see a lot of heat maps where it is like, this is the green zone, this is the yellow zone, and this is the red zone. Red zone is like, please don't be in there. That's the danger. That's the danger that we're gonna mention in a second. Yellow is a area where you are constantly trying to press your green into to be not matching the pace of your opponent, but to win. And green is just the space you take up that is yours claimedly, and nobody can take that away from you. And if currently where you're standing doesn't feel green, you're in the wrong spot. Danger distance. Exactly what it sounds like. You got to know the distance between you and your opponent to know what their tools are, when they can use them, and how fucked you are. And now, observe flows and flavors. Probably one of my highest skills. Like, these are really my skills here that I've honed. And observing flows and flavors is like really getting inside the mind of your opponent. Not just the character on the screen, but at my best, I can see people through the fog of war where nobody else can. And at my best, I feel like I know everything. I feel like I can see the other person on their side of the monitor, where their eyes are at any given moment, and where their cursor is. I feel like I know everything. Now, oh my gosh, we've overloaded you. Take one breath at a time. Take one breath at a time. Sometimes I just gotta, I practice a lot of meditation. Sometimes I just gotta tune in to taking one breath. Holy shit. It's a video game, man. It's life, man. We're just showing up however we show up in any given day, right? Showing up how we show up. And I try and keep it 100 on my Twitch channel, so come check me out. Now, in our heart, we got a couple things. Am I willing to try? Whew, that's courage right there. Sometimes I am not willing to try, and that's a stopping point. That's a stopping point. And it could be through a variety of reasons we'll get into in a couple moments here. We have the winning line in our heart. Why is that not in our brain and our eyes? Like, we talk about racing lines, but what is the winning line in our heart? The winning line in our heart is just, it is a concept. It is something more intrinsic to my human being. Devise unfathomable plans. That is the same thing. It is just, it's not all coming from up here. This is a piece. This is a part. But I am one whole being, and I am devising an unfathomable plan where I am just exuding an energy that can't be, explained in any given moment. And if I try and explain it, we get caught up in the moment and we lose our flow. So devising an unfathomable plan. We'll get into that as well. Decisive, explosive, and trusting. Those are 3 tenets that you got to have in your heart. Because when you feel that unfathomable plan come in, you got to go, I believe it. I'm going straight towards it, and I trust it. And, when my plan succeeds or goes awry, it's not as though I sit here and I go, darn. I sit here and I go, my ego is thrown at the wall. It has been tested. Was it wrong or was it right? I lost today. I lost. I put my effort in and I lost, and I learned, and it is unfathomable to the point that I learned. So it is going to be an amazing time tomorrow. Tappity tap tappity and dancy boys. I got hands, brother. And one of my favorite things to do in League of Legends is to click some things with some fingers. Simple as that. I mean, look at all the other ones. They're so complicated. Shit, I got hands and I'm a human. I'm just here to have a little bit of fun. Gut guidance, subvert the everything, and adapt. These are, sometimes I put my mind in my center, and makes things easier. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just a moment where I can just kind of be at peace. Gut guidance is very important for me, where it's just like, I'll have 8 options going through my head and through my heart, and it's like, I don't really know which one to trust, and it's like, take a breath. Gut guidance. Feel something in your gut. It is not a colloquialism. It is an honest truth about us human beings. We have intuition. Subvert the everything is, I'm going to have all these plans, I'm going to have all these ideas, and when I get to them, it's going to be my ego that puts words to it, so I'm just going to go, subvert the everything. I have no clue what's going to happen today. There are no expectations out on the rift. There are no expectations in life. In a sport against 5 other beautiful, magnificent humans, with my 4 other beautiful, magnificent humans on my team, what is going to happen? I do not know. And so therefore we have to adapt. And that is, it's one of my biggest hardships some days. But also, if you see some of my most magnificent plays, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this guy might have what it takes, you know? Like, I get where he's got an energy where it's like, world stage doesn't seem impossible. That 0.001% is like, you know, if I were a betting man, it wouldn't be the worst. Now, why do we have our ball sack on here? Shit's tough. Shit's tough out here. So anguish these nuts, life. Oh my gosh, I face anguish so much. Because it's like, shit's hard. Shit's hard. We trying. Yeah. Keep moving forward, you know? Things that are grounding us. Unreasonable to not succeed. We try and take a pathway, a walk of life, where we view whatever we're trying to attain, and our path to make it there as an unreasonable to not succeed type of moment. So if I notice that it's quite reasonable for me to not succeed, then I change course a little bit. And some days it's like, I'm not willing to try. It's okay. Sit down, rest, you know? One step at a time. One step at a time. Oh my gosh, lots of anguish out here. This is a hard game, and some people might be like, oh, I'm addicted to League. No, it is not an addiction. It is a love that you have a lot of heart in this game and a lot of sadness for. It is frustrating. It is hard. It is the most difficult and best game out there. And I mean, we humans, dude, life is tough. One step at a time. I will play League until the day it stops serving me. Once it stops serving me, shit, I'm out of here. But I don't see an end to it until I get arthritis, at least. I don't see an end to it. And then confidence. A little bit of confidence goes a long way. It's not just willing to try, a little bit of courage. Confidence is saying, I've walked those steps back there. I'm standing right here. And I trust the very fact that I'm here for maybe a good reason that serves me. Sure. And confidence is just saying, I walked those steps back there. And some of them were wrong. But I am a learning human, you know? Like, I know it takes years and years and years and years just to learn the most basic of concepts, it feels like some days. But it's like, whew, I'm a learning human, and I am confident those steps were steps that took me to this point now, and I am capable. As I exude my energy, I try to exude some love, some respect, and some playfulness. We out here to have a good time. All right, that was a lot to start off with. We are 14 minutes in, and I hope some people stayed around, but it's going to get easy. Let's take a look. The leader that is I play Yorick Mori. I am not just talking about League of Legends for this moment here, and I highly recommend you to think about the other ways and walks in your life that you are a leader. So Yorick Mori, the Shepherd of Souls. Shepherd is a very powerful word. That means you are, in real life, if you were to lead a flock of sheep, you are leading them. You are ensuring that their destination for your livelihood and your sake and their sakes are all aligned. You are a protectorate, and you are a guidepost for them. In League of Legends specifically, I focus on Nexus, Attunement, and Pivot Points. My goal is Yorick, the best, like I am a believer that I have some of the best macro on this planet. And boy, is that egotistical to say some days. But other days, it's like, wow, I can see some of the energy where you're coming from, Nathan. So my eyes are focused on Nexus. I want to blow that thing up. Some attunement. I want to understand the flavors and capacities of each person. I want to be the leader. I want to understand where are the danger points for my team while I'm doing my shit, because sometimes I force my team into 4v5s, and this force isn't because I am trying to put them at a disadvantage. It is a force where I am saying, I can apply my strength somewhere else. Please trust me. And I need to do some riggedy bullshit in order to, you know, amend the facts that I am some days causing a strain on my team. Other days, oh, when I'm locked in, it's something spectacular. And pivot points. Sometimes things don't work. Adapt. You gotta pivot everywhere. You gotta break some people's ankles. As a leader, not just in League of Legends, but in all of life as you're walking, some main tenets are vulnerability, humility, accountability, and silence. You need to know not only who to be vulnerable with, who's earned it, how, but you need to know that you need to put your heart out there. You need to come from a place of humility, and when you sense some ego, you need to be relentless with your questions, and you need to take accountability for your actions when you've made some falsehoods. Even when I come out swinging at somebody, 5 days later, 7 days later, a month later, I might go, shit. It was my fault, wasn't it? It was my fault we lost that game, or it was my fault, or, you know, I really came out swinging in the way I don't deem the way I want to, you know, engage myself with this universe, this world, this perhaps maybe even one human life, and take some accountability. Silence. It is important within all of these virtues to know when to just stew, when to listen, when to just let things culminate. I want to always try and be in a state of learning, allowing my uncertainty to unravel itself, having some gratitude for the life that I have and all the many questions and anguishes that I eventually will have, and allow flow to flow itself. Sometimes I chase after it, and that makes it even tougher, but it's like, we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, in life, we humans, we got a lot of desires. Some of the main ones are, you know, your 7 sins or whatever. But in Buddhism, they talk about freeing yourself from desires, and that can be misconstrued sometimes. It's like, oh, I have to be desireless, a husk of a human. No, it's more about not letting yourself be a attached seeker towards all these desires, and having a forward line that is coming from a grounded place. Now, you have your wants as well, and your opponent is a human just like you. They got desires and wants, so that means that in League of Legends specifically, they're angling for something, and you need to know what action points they're creating and what action points they are leaving behind. So always attack this angle. Simple said, huh? It's hard to do it. You got to define observancies and grounded roots. We're going to talk about just grounding yourself. Not only in League of Legends, but oh my, if you start meditating, I swear it'll change your life. Because it's like, even if I'm like, it feels like I haven't changed much, I am, holy cow, reality is just amazing, dude, this human life. Self-abandonment. You got to be willing to leap. Be willing to let go of plans that work for you. That's one of the craziest things a leader can do, is this plan's working, yet I'm going to abandon that? That's because sometimes you see something on the edge of the horizon, you got to be willing to leap. You got to have a whitewater rafting mentality where you could have 3 versions of you on this side of the boat and 3 versions of you on this side of the boat, and sometimes they're arguing and trying to figure out where they are going down this river. This ain't just a river sometimes it's a whitewater rafting. So all heads need to be facing forward, because even if this guy over here cheated on you with your whatever, or stole your sandwich, or has a different opinion in a different moment, we need to know that all versions of ourselves and our teammates we've got our heads forward. We all know we're in a whitewater rafting trip, even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when it doesn't feel like it, we got our heads forward. And that means an enemy yesterday is a friend today, because we gotta be, even when we don't feel like we always are having our heads forward. And you could disbelieve me on that. You could believe me on that. You could go find that answer for yourself. But boy, it's a fun answer to arrive at. Because I argue with myself all the time. But when I had that realization, it felt like life clicked a little bit, you know? Heat mapping, extension, and overextension. During my heat mapping, it's important to always be at +1. You are that green zone, and you just inch your way into yellow. Slowly, 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 slowly. And your green zone, and your yellow zone, and your red zones are going to be completely different than mine. And that's the funnest part, is finding that all out. Because even if somebody's a micro player, they are seeing completely different lines than I am. And that's one of the coolest parts of life. And you might think, Nathan, I don't play League of Legends. This is not worth my time to be listening to this. We are at the 21-minute marker. Like, how do I apply this to any other part of my life? It's like, there's so many cool things. Like, for example, you could be on a small date, wondering if it's time to hold their hand yet. You're currently sitting in the green, but you always need to be going into that yellow, because uncertainty is abound and adventure is out there. So, do I push for the hand holding? No, that would be 3 or 4 steps into the yellow, and that turns red real quickly. I will await the moment to transpire itself as I just sit here and I question some things some days, you know? Now, reflectivity, forgiveness, release, and pace. We've talked about pace a little bit, but we got to reflect, not only at the end of the game, but we got death timers in League of Legends. You got hundreds of thousands of moments of reflection in each day of your life, and it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. I like to sometimes do, mind games where I recall the whole day, if I can. It's a good time. Now, you got to be delusionally forgiveful. I forgive myself fast, and I forgive myself for any and everything, because there's just no reason in all of life, even for the darndest of things, to not forgive yourself. That is not a release from accountability. That is a release from the very threads that are and the chains that are holding you back. And once you release yourself from those things, you could find your human pace in life. And sometimes, when you're moving at not your pace, you're going to keep fucking up. And then sometimes you internalize this message and you're like, I gotta go find my pace. And it's like, the pace finds you. Once again, these flows and things will find you when you release a little bit of that control and you just allow yourself to be present with some of the anguishes of life and the joys of life. It could be scary to feel joy, because opening up your heart in that way is terrifying. It is the scariest thing as a human. The 5 elements versus them. It's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors game some days. So, sometimes you flow, sometimes they grow, sometimes you burn. Whatever, dude. Have a little bit of fun with your brain. This is just how I like to lead. Devise unfathomable plans. Once again, it's been mentioned. The leader isn't sitting up here like I'm a strategist at all points in his life. Because sometimes strategy comes from a place that feels almost divine and beyond your exact capacities to speak upon. And yeah, we speak. We're, verbal communicators. But being human isn't just this flesh that we see each day. It is something magnificent. So, devise an unfathomable plan today. Just follow it. Now, we got cranium and brainium and the stopgaps. When my brain feels like it's working and it's in flow, breathing comes easy. I got some fierce eyes. I'm planning things and I'm abandoning them. Tap, tap, tappity grounding, you know, like I'm having just a fun little time. I take to the field with a force and an energy that I enjoy. I look for people's weak points, and I got this winner's energy where it's just like life is something I choose today. And I mean, hey, suicide, death, all those hard topics in life, when I'm talking about anguish in any given moment, like, those things happen. That's a very real thing. I'm choosing my time to present on League of Legends because look at this energy I'm exuding, dude. I'm having a fun-ass time right now just talking about all this. And my winner's energy is just the fact that I enjoy being here, and you need to recognize that every single breath, every single second is a choice that you were here. And that's hard to look at. It could be really hard some days, but nonetheless, I would like to congratulate everyone who's at the 26-minute marker here, sitting with me, choosing to be here with me on your one human life. Stop gaps. Excessive worry. I worry so much. And sometimes it's indecision. Sometimes it's uncertainty. Sometimes it's just this perpetual worry. You know what? We all do it. Check out Teal Swan YouTube Worry. She's pretty awesome. Morality. I worry about morality all of the time. Actually, to an obsessive level. It's tough, but also it's made me who I am today, and I am so pleased by the person that I bring to the table. So pleased. So pleased. So, even though it feels like it's just a hard thing that I walk around with, I am so pleased with the work that I put in with myself each day. Expectation, frustration. We're playing League of Legends here, baby. Oh my gosh, some days I carry, and we still lose? Brother, come on! Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. Moment of silence for all of us who really did try our best on that given game, and it just didn't work. You know, sometimes one of the hardest things in a game isn't to carry, it sometimes is to get carried. You gotta find your role in a game. There's gonna be 800 different aspects that are really tough, and we need to give the space in the room for all of our compatriots who are playing this really hard game. Like, League of Legends is so hard, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at, it is the hardest game out there. Oh my gosh. Alright. Win or snooze. Ooh, one of my bad habits. Sometimes when I get ahead, I abandon the things that got me ahead in the first place, because it's like, oh, we're just gonna win. It's just gonna happen. I already did all the hard work. You gotta be locked into that last moment, baby. You gotta take to the field like an unyielding force. And some days I don't show up like that, and I gotta also just give myself the room to log in to play some League of Legends, figure some emotions out, sit in front of the screen, play my favorite game, and just observe the fact that I am trying in some way that I can't really always name, even when it feels rough. Even when it feels real rough. Fear. I got so much fear. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'm like, am I trying hard enough? You know, the worries, the fears. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm trudging forward. And it is a pleasure to have all of you here. Sorriness. Within that trudging and am I trying hard enough, sometimes I get in this mood where it's like I am just so sorry for my existence in this game and towards my teammates. And I know I'm not alone on that one. I know that sometimes this can churn into some scapegoating or pointing at other people. It's hard to sit with your ego. I truly do know it's really hard to sit there. And so when my teammates get toxic at me, I have hard times. I have hard times. I don't know when it's appropriate to mute or when it's appropriate to report I'm working on all that still. I think that, I don't know, I gotta work on it. But I've come leagues and bounds into the person that I am today, and, you know, just being like, we humans. A lot of loss of control with your teammates. You're gonna trust and trust and trust, and you're gonna get your heart broken. You're gonna get your heart broken. That's the truth. So, try and keep it open in each given moment, and when it closes, go heal it. Come back another day. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. League of Legends is a video game. Get absorbed, have fun, look cool, flow, have some sexy plays, get your basics and fundamentals, just crush somebody. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, my play's so boring, But when you beat somebody with basics and fundamentals, there's just something that clicks in there. And you're just like, oh shit, he couldn't have done a damn thing. He couldn't have done a damn thing. Those are some of the best days when I'm just like, oh, I'll give my basics and fundamentals some work. Clean, mean, green machine, baby. That's me. Sometimes you're just clean. It's like I made no mistakes that game. And, like, those are the days that I'm like, could I make it to Worlds? Like, I look at people playing this game on TikTok, on LC, whatever. Like, I don't watch too much League because I'm like, I got something in there. And it's clean, mean, green machine, baby. Clean, mean, green machine. There's something. I feel it in there. Get absorbed into this game. This is like, I have a YouTube video on Flow. I made it a couple of years ago. I cringe a little bit at it, but also it's like, I love this thing. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Highly recommend. Get absorbed. And it's not like a choice to get absorbed. It's just like, once you've grounded yourself, you recognize that I really do truly love this game. Get absorbed. Oh, have a good time. Now, as far as winning goes, when you're getting absorbed, there's plenty of things that you could be like, oh, a win was improvement on this day. Sure. We're not looking for the win. We're looking for a win. And once you understand these words, internalize what a win is, you'll transform your play like nobody else, quicker than anything. Just, as far as winning goes, get a win. Detach from the results. Try your best. Look for improvement to be made and had been made. Give yourself that credit for the improvements you've actually made in this life. Everywhere. The dish pit, your chore list, just your diet, your breathing, your time, your relationships. Just sitting here. Like, I mean, an improvement that I've made is the capacity to just sit here and enjoy. And some days I don't always get that pleasure. Today I do. That's an improvement. Now, some days we climb to the top of this mountain and sometimes it's conscious, sometimes it's super subconscious, where you pose a question to the very game of League of Legends itself, or the universe itself, in any given moment. And all of a sudden, things get real hard, and you go downwards so quickly. And it's like, I was just this guy. What happened, man? You asked a question. One of the biggest things you could ever do in life. And just remember, a bird who's afraid to fall may never fly. You will come up another day. Asking questions is just part of the process. May we each take a step into the future where we climb higher each and every day. Have a good day, everybody.